shaded and had a number in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of games that A had cell shading, B had a number in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Kanye West album is exclusive to Tidal.
Yeah.
But someday it's not going to be.
That's true. Is it really? I actually hadn't heard that.
So,
And is it out?
Yeah. Yes and no.
Or did they stream it once? My understanding, it sounded like they streamed it one time.
It came out and then uncame out.
What?
It's a beautiful fucking mess.
Yeah, I guess. I saw people saying it's amazing.
So,
or I don't know. Did you listen to it?
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I don't know. There's some stuff about it I like. So they released that thing. So what? Yeah, he did his he went to Madison Square Garden and played the album.
Yes,
and had his fashion show and played the trailer for his game.
Yeah, that was in my list. We could just talk about it now.
Yeah, which is Robomoto making that?
I didn't see that part.
Oh boy,
He uses the skateboard.
I skate your mother to heaven.
I had a hard time getting past the part where he showed the trailer once and then wasn't happy with the response to it, so then he ran it again.
No, that's beautiful. I know. That's
what I mean. That's what I mean. Like that's the best part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't see a developer.
Okay. Someone said that they saw a Robomoto image on. I guess maybe that's not confirmed. I don't know. But Robomoto, Chicago-based studio, would make sense.
I thought I saw some quotes from him about having been in San Francisco. Working on this game.
I feel like, the conversations you and I have had with a developer who was involved with Kanye West at one point made it sound like he searched far and wide and probably talked to a lot of different people over the course of this process. So I don't actually know. I don't actually know who ended up working on it. There was one guy on Twitter who said he had worked on the game, and I was not familiar with him, but I saw some retweets of that going around at the time. Anyway,
the clip was so short, it was
very short.
Hard to get a real sense of what the game is, but it seems like kind of a tribute to his late mother.
Yes, that was always the goal. I think the stated goal that he wanted to make.
Yeah.
So sure. We'll see how that goes.
Yes.
But the album, so it was supposed to come out after that stream for sale or something, and it was very non-specific about what was going to happen. And then it got delayed, and then he was back in the studio re-recording parts of it, and the track list changed, and the name changed 3 times over the last couple of weeks of the album. And so it was that sort of thing you look at and go like, well, if they're putting this out in stores, they're pressing copies already. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So maybe it's a digital only release. And then it came out on Tidal, which is the Spotify competitor that does FLACs. So it's like a higher audio quality in theory.
Yeah. And can you buy tracks off of that?
So not normally.
Okay.
It is a streaming service like Spotify that is owned or partially owned by a bunch of different artists.
Yeah, there are a lot of
involved.
A lot of investors.
Like
Madonna.
Daft Punk is involved.
Is it free and it has a premium thing?
No,
like Spotify?
It's not free. There is no free version.
Oh, so it's a monthly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's more expensive.
It's tiered. You can get. There's one that is price competitive with Spotify, but you don't get the higher audio quality unless you're paying $20 a month.
Yeah, they claim that they have the highest streaming quality, and it's $20, and they also say they give a bigger cut to artists.
So I can't speak to any of that. I think Tidal looks crazy, and I have had problems with all the streaming services.
Yeah. The user experience with Tidal, I haven't tried it, but it was not well received when it first launched.
For sure. So there was a page that went up at So that was then he was on Saturday Night Live. So this was Saturday, obviously. And the album had not come out yet. And it was this very confusing situation because he was on Twitter running off at the mouth, bunch of fucking bullshit.
He's been really fun to follow. Of late.
It wrapped around for me to where now it's just dude, fucking come on. And maybe it's because I'm not feeling the album super hard.
Sure.
Maybe that's part of it, but
is this what's spurring on?
Like a maniac. Sometimes.
Yeah. Is this what's spurring on to I'm $53 million in debt, and is that all new?
That was Twitter. That was a post Grammys rant.
Oh, okay.
Which may be a separate thing. I didn't see those tweets.
Is he doing okay?
I don't know. I mean, not if he's $53 million in debt.
How's that happen?
There is a line in one of the songs where he says that you don't want to see what he's like when he's not on his Lexapro.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, anyway,
let's not delve too.
Yeah, no, totally.
Stuff,
I don't want to delve too deep into any of that stuff. But there's a real. I mean, for one, he's calling out to the founder of Facebook using Twitter to ask for $1 billion. I
hadn't thought about that. It's pretty good.
But so I don't know. So the album came out late Saturday night. And
officially?
Okay. And it launched on Tidal for streaming, and also they had pages set up where you could buy the album. And so I woke up Sunday morning and like had to dig around through news stories to find what the fuck was going on, and found like it was like KanyeWest.Tidal.com. There was a page that was just like this super bare bones like Cards Against Humanity quality of like payment processing. It was like that very kind of slick, just like enter your name, put in your credit card, here you go. Like very quick, very light kind of thing. That, but unlike the card stuff, which I think is super tight, it just felt slapped together. And it was like, get this album for $20. And I was like, that's a lot for an album, but okay. I've been along for the ride this long with this crazy bullshit. Sure. Let's fucking hear this thing. And so I did all that, and then it popped up a page after the fact that was like all the tracks listed, and I had 3 downloads of each track, either MP3 or FLAC. Okay. So I downloaded one set of MP3s and then said, well, I should probably get the FLACs just in case, and I can always convert them.
Always get the FLAC.
Always get the FLAC. So I downloaded the FLACs, and then there was a button at the top that was, so I got a bunch of MP3s that were not tagged or like labeled properly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
When I did that,
wow.
And to clarify, you are not a Tidal.
No,
so
I'm not.
You don't have to have any affiliation with Tidal. You can just buy it.
So at that time,
okay,
yes,
okay.
As I was going through this process, Austin Walker of GiantBomb.com mentioned that there was another page somewhere on Tidal that was selling the album for $10.
Oh,
I don't fucking know. I was downloading it. I don't care. At some point, I was like, well, of course, Tidal's a fucking mess, and Kanye West is a fucking mess. Of course, there are multiple prices for this fucking thing. I'll download the FLACs. And then I downloaded, then at the top of the screen, there was just a down arrow, and I clicked that, and that got me a zip of the MP3s that were still not tagged. There were different encodes from the MP3s that I just downloaded from the looks of the file sizes were different. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I got it, listened to it. I was like, oh, the tracks on this that I like, I really like, but there are tracks on this that I don't especially like. All right, that's fine. And kind of moved on.
It's the first thing he's done since Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like that one.
At some point later that day, he removed the item from sale, and posted on Twitter that he was going to fix the track Wolves, that he wasn't happy with it. Or I think that's what people inferred from when he posted, I'm a fix Wolves.
To be clear, there is a song entitled Wolves.
There is a song entitled Wolves on the album.
For a second, I thought you meant...
And he played that at the SNL 40th anniversary, and it had verses on it that it did not have upon release. So people are wondering if he's going to go back and put Sia back on it, or whatever's going to happen.
For a second, I thought you meant the track Wolves had gotten to the album, and you never want...
Yeah, no.
What is the name of the album at this point?
The album came out as The Life of Pablo.
Okay, all right.
It was originally going to be called Swish. No, it was originally going to be called So Help Me God.
Huh.
Then it was going to be called Swish. Then it was going to be called Waves, which sparked some fucking bullshit with Wiz Khalifa.
Yes. Oh, that's what that whole Twitter war was?
That's what that whole thing was.
Okay. And then it was called The Life of Pablo.
Is it a concept album? Who's Pablo?
No, not really. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't know. Right. I don't want to read into it.
Okay.
Is it Pablo? I think that's the whole point. Is it Pablo Picasso? Is it, like who is it Paul? Is it Paul McCartney?
Whoa.
Right?
That's my take.
Whoa. Right?
Yeah.
Look. It's fine. And so at some point, the album was removed from sale, and then he got out there and said, it is still streaming on Tidal. It is only going to be streaming on Tidal. It will never come out on Apple.
The fuck?
Please subscribe to Tidal. Like, it just turned into this like really hard line, like sign up for Tidal. And like the URL that I had purchased the album from is now gone. But I still have the URL that I downloaded from, and that still loaded up a page. I never got an email. Like it had like enter your email address, and I never got any kind of confirmation. I saw that my credit card got hit. I saw that I paid for it, and Yeah. So the URL still works. I've used up my 3 downloads, so now that page doesn't seem to work, or I don't know. I don't know if it would work even if I hadn't downloaded it 3 times. Like if I had paid for it and not downloaded it, I guess I would be writing to title support and going, "What the fuck?"
That process sounds like how Louis C.K. will do the things where it's like, hey, here's my new special, come to my website.
Totally.
And it's just a real quick thing. It's like, oh, you get 3 downloads,
exactly.
or you can stream it. But you at least get an email with that, so if you need to look it up later.
Yes. Yes, that's a sensible process.
Yeah.
Tidal is not in the business of selling music. They're in the business of selling subscriptions to streams. So I'm not surprised that process was fucked and ridiculous. But at the same time, it just and that it's been retracted from sale. And like, is this track? So now what happens to me as the purchaser of the album? If he replaces a track on it, will I get it?
Oh, if he fixes Wolves.
If Wolves is fixed, do I get Wolves? Do I get new Wolves?
Better Wolves.
You have to give back the old Wolves.
Now I have rare old Wolves. I've got 2 copies of them on my desktop, FLAC and MP3. It's just like it was like at the time I was kind of like blown away at how it was happening before the album was out at all. It was like this feeling of like, man, he's like a major artist, and like they're in the studio right now recording it, and it's supposed to come out like fucking tomorrow. Like that's crazy and awesome, and like just the idea that like there's this super direct connection between artist and end user, fan, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Like without the process, without the, well, it's got to go through manufacturing. Yeah. Well, it's got to go through this. Like, no, it's like we're mixing, we're mastering, we're putting it the fuck out. Fuck it. Like that's so cool. But fucking what?
Music industry version of shipping broke ass games?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Did I get an early access version of the album? Like it's not even for sale anymore. Like you can still stream it on Tidal, which I'm never going to do.
Including Wolves?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Only Wolves 2.0.
Okay. I don't know if Wolves has actually been fixed yet. And then apparently he says he's got like way more songs that he's about to release, but they will only appear on Tidal. And every single place where MP3s are still pirated.
Until the wind shifts and he just like completely changes his mind.
Exactly. Like that's the thing is like he's lost a lot of credibility on the business side as a result of a lot of this stuff and a lot of his kind of wishy-washiness with the name. And I think it's all coming from a very like good, maybe good is the weird word, but like it's coming from a very honest place. I don't feel like it's like deliberately deceptive, but at the same time, the lack of information about how this was going to be presented and all that stuff has been very crazy.
Well, prior to his fashion thing, was Tidal mentioned? Had he said that he wanted to do Tidal only?
So.
Or was it going to be just
it was. I wasn't following it closely enough to know if it was going to be if that was going to be how people got it. But you know, so I was like looking at Amazon and iTunes, and like, this thing fucking come out yet? Like, what's going on?
Sure,
no,
sure.
And they're like, oh, he hasn't posted on Twitter in like a couple hours. And then even the morning after, I ended up on some tech site that had a link to Tidal. And I was like, oh, I guess it makes sense that he would put it on Tidal. I think he's like a part of that or something. So, okay, weird. But at least it's still for sale. I don't need to sign up for fucking Tidal. And now you have to sign up for fucking Tidal.
Was he the musical guest on SNL? Did they
he was,
stream the album or did he play?
I think he just played a couple of tracks.
Okay.
Or performed, I guess, actually.
I could just see him holding a MacBook and...
It's not, it was not as awesome as when the Beastie Boys put a boombox in the middle of a fucking basketball court and said, "Here." That was an awesome live stream.
Man, what a mess! I feel exhausted.
Yeah,
just listening to it.
Yeah, it is the most. He's ready to develop video games.
I was going to say, I feel like we should just cancel the rest of the news segment after that. It's like, where are you going to go from there?
He is 100% ready to put out a fucking video game.
Yeah, clearly.
After that, like, nope, you get it. It's a fucking mess,
man. I just looked it up. All his other stuff is on Spotify. So
yeah.
We will see where that.
And I want to say that that Madison Square Garden thing, you could go see it in theaters.
The whole presentation
by satellite live,
like a Fathom thing or
and
whatever the service that is.
Whatever service it was. Yeah, but so that was playing in theaters, and the tickets you could buy for that, you could spend like $1,000 and get a jean jacket with it and stuff like that, and a download of the album.
Oh well. Okay.
Also, a download of the album, which is the thing that is supposed to not be available anymore. So what's that then?
I have no idea. This is.
I mean, the music industry is like doing all. You think fucking like Call of Duty, $15 on Steam is weird. Like watching the music industry figure shit out as it goes through like yet another big transition has been way more fascinating.
Oh, dude, did you watch the Grammys?
No, not at all.
Did you hear about Common and the president of the RIAA like going on stage, like kind of trying to shame people into not using free music streaming services anymore?
What? Serious?
Yeah. Wow. Like basically saying that ad-supported music streaming gives artists like nothing, next to nothing.
They probably shouldn't sign those deals then.
And don't do it. Yeah, like that's what I feel like from that thinking.
As the content holders, they should have been the ones to go like, oh, we need to not do this.
Right. Yeah, it was a baffling thing.
Like I get it that maybe it doesn't play a lot of money,
but I'm with you.
It's a bad deal, but like make a fucking better deal.
Right. I was like, why did you make those deals then if they're so? Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know. Music has gotten weird.
Like Rihanna released her album with some kind of fake VR app or something, and it was supposed to be like one different room per day per track. So it's like 7 tracks on the album, and there are 8 rooms in the app. But then people fucking just hacked it out of whatever Samsung deal.
Oh, sure.
And just downloaded it immediately or whatever. So they had to release it early. And
don't get me wrong, the idea of like a VR thing that goes along with an album sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, totally. Yes, absolutely. And just watching, like what was it? Like Jay-Z fucking gave 2 million copies of his album. Well, not gave away, whatever, he got paid. Samsung bought copies of his album to give away to owners of Samsung phones.
Weird. Just come like pre-installed on the phone?
No, it was you would download an app and redeem a code. I forget what it was, but it was like something where if you had this phone, you got the Jay-Z album. And as a result, his album launched platinum.
Wow.
Because it had pre-sold that many copies.
Wow. That's really weird.
Whether people wanted it or not.
And they've changed the rules for for how they count sales as a result of the streaming stuff. Now it's like 1,500 streams counts the same as one album purchase.
Huh.
And as for purposes of counting if it's a platinum album or a platinum record or whatever it is. So like watching them go through this process and change and try to figure out how things work now, after they've already been trying to figure out, after kind of finally embracing iTunes and the idea that maybe we should start selling music on the internet, to watch the bottom drop out all over again, and then like having to fucking come out and fucking beg people, like that's fucking nuts.
Bizarre.
Wow.
Also, like watching the Grammys was also crazy just to see how many of the artists that were performing were pointed out as having gotten their start on YouTube.
Oh, really?
There were several. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That was just a very profound moment of like, man, old media is just fucking dead.
Right? Yeah. Like, why do you need a recording industry?
Yeah.
Like, what part?
Well,
they still got the royalties. They
still got subsumed into a massive machine once they got their start on YouTube. And like they're not posting new songs to YouTube anymore. They obviously are part of the real shit now or whatever.
But like, if Kanye West wants to just fucking put his shit out on fucking Tidal or Bandcamp or whatever, like he's at a level where he could do that.
Yeah.
It's stuff like Bowie was really big into, like when that stuff was just very formative when he was trying to sell stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. Just the future continues to be weird.
It's awesome. Like, it's the fucking best, man.
I thought there was going to be a weird transitional period and then there would be like a new equilibrium reached, but no. It just continues to get more bizarre.
Yeah. We are all doomed.
Yep.
And it's the best.
Probably. Well, all right. Let's whip through the remaining news stories real quick here.